So I'm going to call the May 4th meeting of the Affordable Housing Trust to order. We are partially remote, so we're going to open the meeting by roll call, starting with Dan.
Here.
Eric.
Here.
Matt.
Here.
And Bruce is here as well. All right, so we're waiting on Ed to come on, and I didn't hear back from Brittany, but I assume she's going to be here. So we have a couple things that everybody should have gotten in their packet. One is relatively easy. The second thing that we're going to talk about tonight, which is submit opposition to town meeting warrant article 37, which is the dissolution of the trust, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with. It looks like the town council and Kathleen, our council, have coalesced around an idea along with their feedback from the Department of Revenue at the state level for I don't know how it's going to be dealt with on town meeting floor, but it certainly feels like they have decided that it is not legal. So whether or not the moderator decides to pass it over, rule it out of order, I don't know. That's up to her. But it doesn't look like we really have to do anything at this point. And I don't know the protocols, so I don't believe if it would be up for discussion if it's ruled out of order. If it's not and it's talked about, then I guess we can speak to it. But my guess is it's going to be either pushed or ruled out of order, and that'll be the end of it. So nobody's going to get the opportunity to speak at all. So I don't know if everybody's had a chance to review what Kathleen had sent us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had.
Also reviewed what Ginny had to say about it, and as written, it's just not legal.
Okay. So probably a discussion for another time is, where does it go from here? That type of thing. I don't think we really want to hash that out tonight. The point of this meeting was to make sure that we had time to prepare something if we needed to. It doesn't look like that's the case.
So I think just as a backup, just in case, I think reading, if for some reason, Don changed their mind and allows it to go into discussion and a vote, I think just reading the letter from Kathleen would be perfect.
Okay. That's easy enough. Does everybody agree with that?
I agree with that.
Okay. Then I don't think we need to actually consider a vote on this particular piece. I had it as an actionable item, just in case we needed to draft something or have somebody draft something, but I think what Kathleen has drafted for us will work just fine. The other piece of business tonight, and executive session is on there, and that was mostly to discuss the grant agreement with GSX. This is not something that we can actually go into executive session for, even though there's property involved. The reason why I want it on there is in the back and forth, now that they have their extension, they want to revitalize the grant agreement and go back through it. They've submitted to us an LOI and a memorandum for the company that is going to partner to finance the piece, the actual project. Now this is concerning, of course, 17 and 27 Upton Streets. I think we should take it up formally. I put it on there now in case we had some more information and want to kind of hash it out a little bit more. My immediate thoughts were, have Kathleen, take another look at it and put a little bit more security in it for us. And I certainly want, now that we're at a point where we can kind of take a second bite of the apple, so to speak, I want to put a little bit more framework into what they're going to do with the reserve space, the barn, that area. I think it's not a bad time to make a couple demands on it. We talked about, and this is well over a year ago, is making sure that area could, which I think they presented it as putting opening like a brew pub or something like that. Of course, that's not going to happen with the existing structure, but using that area for parking and reserve parking, to of course up their per unit parking threshold, which would be good for that area, and also extend some public parking for the common area as well. And then to make sure that we get our hooks in the land should, a certain duration go by and they're not actually perform on it at all, that we get not only the plans and all the work that's gone into it thus far, like delineation, survey work, engineering, architectural work, and stuff like that, but we also get a piece of the land, which is going to be difficult to do with the P&S because I don't think they have any appetite to go back to the select board and rehash it out again. But I think there's room in the P&S for us to get some security. So I'll open it up to the floor to give us a little bit more direction.
So Bruce, I went back through the agreement and, my concerns remain as they were the last time we took this up, particularly with regard to security. And it would be helpful to me if I had Kathleen present. So if I could ask a series of questions about if this happens, what then? I don't think as a lawyer, whether or not we get sufficient security has anything to do with the P&S. We are the holder of some money that they're looking for, whether it's a construction loan or a grant agreement. We're entitled to get the security that we want. And that's up to us and GSX. If GSX says, no way, we're not comfortable with that, or that's going to screw up the rest of our financing, okay, then we've got a choice to make. But at present, I just don't know what value some plans and surveys and studies are going to do to some other contractor unknown who may or may not ever come in or may not come in for years on this. And I'm also confused as to why, we're providing payments. They're fronting money for these upfront costs, and we're providing payments upon receipt of their proof of payment for those costs. So we're reimbursing them. My concern is, okay, they're probably not going to incur those costs before the purchase and sale is executed. So the paragraph here that I'm reading, paragraph 12, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Termination purchase and sale agreement. We're not, as far as I'm concerned, we're probably not giving them a lot of money until the P&S is signed. I don't know why we would. So I just have some questions things I need ironed out.
Well, it'd probably be helpful if you took that into a direct email with Kathleen, and then we can just present it when the next time we come, and then we can add that as part of the packet. That'd probably be a good exercise for everybody anyways, instead of utilizing her time actually here.
Okay.
To see where we can go with it. I kind of want to get a sense of, on whole, my thoughts on it are, it still is in the overlay. It's still a special permit process. It's still going to add a lot of units to the inventory. I like the project. I like, it seems far more doable than going through the ZBA process. So it still has a lot of those features that I find attractive. I just, at this stage in the game, especially with the past performance on their other project, which I know we shouldn't really blur because they're not the same, it would be nice to shore up some of those features of the grant agreement. Hi, Eric.
Hello.
We're talking currently about the 17 and 20s.
I was listening in.
I don't think we need to spend too much time on it tonight. I just wanted to make sure it was part of the packet, so it's part of the ongoing conversation. So.
All right. So then my action item between now and next meeting is to hash out some questions I have for her and submit those as part of the packet.
Yeah. So we're
So
going
we
to
can
meet again next week.
Move forward.
That's the second
next
Thursday.
week?
I think it's the
Okay.
second Thursday next week.
Okay.
Is it, Dan?
Yeah, next week, Thursday.
So if you can get it to her tomorrow, or well, no, you're still down on vacation.
Not going to be tomorrow.
Try to
I'm in the
get.
Animal Kingdom tomorrow.
Are you back next Monday?
Yeah.
All right. So when you get back, and if you can get settled, and just send them over to her, And then we just need to make sure the packet's done by 6 or 4 on Tuesday.
Okay.
We can update the packet afterwards. We'll just put your questions in the packet and she can respond to them before the meeting. That would work. Does anybody else
Okay.
have anything? Because we can get that. Oh, we have meeting minutes.
I'll just say something on this. I'm not feeling great about this now. I think the Pine Street thing is a big concern to me. I know it's a different project. I know it's all that stuff, but actions speak louder than anything, and they haven't been able to execute that project. So unless we have some real like ironclad ways to get our money back, I'm not feeling good about this with this partner, to be honest. This much money. So we'll see what we can get out of them, but I've kind of changed my tune on this personally.
I'm gonna just pass on comments. I don't really have much, updated thinking on this. So
Yeah, Dan.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep open mind on what we can get, but I am definitely moved a bit in the same direction as Eric. Plus the fact that our contribution isn't part of getting the building built; it's part of getting more affordable units. I feel like it's less of a critical thing, I guess. I don't know. But like getting more affordable units is great. That's what we're here for, right? But it just seems like there's the risk based on what we know from 8 Pine Street feels like it's more than what we thought it was earlier.
Yeah, the Pine Street one is a real thorn in this whole endeavor. So
I guess one of the things that I was thinking about is buying additional affordability. I just wonder if that isn't something that we could either go to RFP with, or because, to your point, Dan, this is just a developer. We're not helping build the development. We're taking an existing build and we're buying down AMI to provide that lower income threshold benefit to Grafton. So why couldn't we do that with any of these apartment developments that are going up? And I don't want to minimize the work that you've put into this, Bruce, because I really deeply appreciate
Likewise.
the modeling out of this. But I think that's something we should consider.
So I just want to reiterate again, it's just having some experience, and now that we've all had a little bit of experience with the process under normal 40B conditions and what we're going to be dealing with, it still is an overlaid zone, which is nice. So just pocket that in the back of your mind while we go back and kind of get ourselves a better position, or something that at least can provide us like a return on the land, that type of thing. Something that's going to give us something in 2 years if this doesn't actually happen. So it's not like Pine Street where it's just going to sit for 5 years while they try to find financing. Because that is what looks like is going to happen. Now, it's a similar approach. These things take a long time. I mean, we all heard from the people who are doing 25 Worcester Street who awarded that. So we'll probably have a P&S over the next couple months, but they're not even going to look for funding until 2025. So who knows what it's going to look like then? I don't know. So, these things all these projects that we're looking at now, even the Eastland stuff and everything, might outlive all of our tenures on this particular board. Especially when the town obviously has an appetite to dissolve us and to do something with it. I don't know what, but there is a lot of animosity out there, it seems, for all of this, and there hasn't even been a shovel in the ground for any of these projects or any considerable amount of forward progress on any of them. It's just one roadblock after the next, which, as Ed can attest to, seems to be par for the course for this type of work. So, all right.
We got the housing shortage in the first place.
Exactly. All right, so I'll pass along to Kathleen to start another back and forth. Ed's going to reach out to Kathleen with a host of questions to probably shore up our position in it to make us more comfortable with it if we can get to that point. But let's keep the dialogue open anyways, and just move it. All right. Has anybody taken a look at the meeting minutes of April 13th? I'll entertain a motion to. My mind just went sideways on.
I move that
Thank
we
you.
accept the meeting minutes from the April 13th, 2023 meeting as presented.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor by roll call, starting with Dan.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
And Bruce is an aye as well, and that's all we have. So can wrap this up unless somebody else has something. Brilliant. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Wait
Second.
a second. All those in favor with the roll call, Dan.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
And myself and I, we are adjourned. Thank you everybody for coming. We'll see you next week.